You know, they say life is like a box of chocolates. You never know when Shannon's gonna record the reaction to something from the RWBY OST before the RWBY OST because he wants to listen to the song on repeat, but he hasn't and won't, can't yet, because he wants to do the reaction. Anyway, hey, hi, ho, and howdy, everyone. My name is Shannon L. Shook. That shit did not change since the last time you spoke to me. You know what did, though? This penny. Get it oh, penny. No. Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm sad now. Anyway, we're here for yet again another RWBY video. That's right. I have to find the perfect balance with this in my brain. Otherwise, it's too cloggy in my head, and I feel like I'm talking in my own skull, and it's very upsetting to me. Does it look stupid? I don't care. Gorgeous. Anyway, we're here for yet again another RWBY video. This time, we are going to be taking a look at Inside. This is the RWBY Volume 9 OST, which is batshit insane to say, because the show just came out. We only got the first episode so far. But along with that, we actually got the first of the songs on the soundtrack. And that's, of course, the intro song, which is lit as fuck. Casey and Martine are slaying it. Also, as people will have noticed, I didn't remember fucking Martine's name. And I'm profoundly upset by that in my reaction. But I am glad that I didn't know it, because my dumbass would have said Martin. And that's... I apologize, Martin. But no, seriously, I would have, and I would have felt really fucking dumb. It's like when I fucking said Josh's last name wrong, and I wanted to die inside. But Inside, like the song, which, as far as I'm aware, is pretty much what this song is about in regards to a certain Rose Bean. Anyway, so I have not gotten to listen to Inside in earnest yet. Not Inside of Earnest. Jesus Christ, guys. Anyway, I haven't gotten to listen to it in full yet. I was really debating whether or not I was going to put it off entirely, as per the usual, and suffer as I always do. But since it was already out in full, and it's like right out the gate, I figured might as well let's do it. Let's have fun. Let's keep the RWBY stuff going on the channel. Let's fucking vibe, bros and ladies. And I would have said hoes, but that would have been profoundly offensive, even if it did rhyme. You gotta find that perfect balance between artistic joy and not being an asshole. Anyway. Everybody. Vibe. Yeah, so I want to check this out. Before we do get started, obviously, for those who have not seen how I do soundtrack reactions here in the past, I lie to everyone with how I'm going to do it, and then proceed to do it the opposite way, and then everyone's like, what the fuck were you talking about the first time? And I'm like, I don't know. But here we are. The original plan is always to listen through it once in kind of just to feel it, just to get the vibe, and then I listen to it a second time to actually dissect it and pull it apart and really examine what's going on in there. Again, that's literally the opposite way it goes every single fucking time I do this, so I guess I'm going to listen to it the first time, hyper-focus on it, and then listen to it a second time to jam, because that's the way the cookie crumbles. What the fuck does that mean in this context? I don't know. What I do know is I'm very much looking forward to this. I've heard nothing but good things, obviously, with what we got of the intro itself. It's fantastic. It is easily already up there with the likes of Rising and Let's Just Live, which are my two personal favorites of the whole bunch. Also a huge fan of oh my god, Shannon, you're the world's biggest RWBY fan, and you can't remember the Time to say goodbye. I'm sorry. I'm the fucking worst. Anyway, I may be the biggest fan. I'm also a fucking idiot. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I generally do these. I like to listen to them twice. I like to vibe. Again, obviously, we did not have Jeff on this this time around, but that is okay, because again, Casey and Martine are absolutely slaying it. Dear Lord, you two. Calm the fuck down. Anyway, actually don't. Please keep going. You guys are fucking awesome. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to it. I also don't know how the soundtrack is going to go for the rest of the volume. Are they going to come out each time with the episodes, or is it just because it's the intro? Will we get the same I mean, if it's with the outro, I mean, it's the end credits, it's already going to be in full anyway, unless like small changes here and there. So I don't know, but I want to just go ahead and commit to it. So we're going to go ahead. I don't know what that was. We're going to go ahead and just do it, and it'll be fun. One last thing before we do get started, because it's not an intro to a double hit video if Shannon doesn't spend the first 8.5 hours talking to you about nonsense. I really quickly just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who supported both the intro reaction to RWBY Volume 9 as well as the first episode proper. In general, it is crazy. Like, it is really crazy support. And again, after like a year or 2 years of bad, very bad in my personal life and in regards to the channel, and like pure stagnation and pain, lots of pain, very much lots of pain. It felt incredibly nice to see that, like, incredibly warm reception from everybody outside of like 1 or 2 comments, which was expected anyway. Like, it was really, really good. So thank you for being awesome. Thank you for having a good time. I hope you guys are here to vibe with me as well as we all can together. It's going to be a heckin' great frickin' time, I do suspect, even if I am mighty afeared. Just it was really nice. Like, we got pushed over 1,700 subs. We got like 30, 40 fucking people showed up purely based on those 2 videos alone, which is really kind and sweet. Again, RWBY is my personal favorite series of all time, only even remotely closely rivaled by Pokemon, so seeing that do well, and it's never done bad. Okay, that's not true. When we first started, it had done pretty fucking bad. But to be fair, my content was arguably pretty fucking bad. It's debatable. I'll give you that. I like it still. Yeah, it's always done decently well enough, but it seemed like here in particular, it ended up getting a lot more love than even usual. So I just, again, thank you everyone for being so goddamn awesome. To all the people who I've gotten to meet and talk to over the past time we've been away from the series, and whether that be just from Discords or Twitter or fucking people showing up because of my big brain plays with fucking Ice Queendom, I say as I deleted my entire fucking reactions here. It's okay. I'm not mad about it. Outside of that, my big brain plays, and by that I mean just listening to when they said the things about the show. That's not the point. I'm still salty. Anyway, point is, we're gonna go ahead and do this, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I hope you guys are excited as I am. We're gonna jump into this again. As far as I've heard like a couple one-off lyrics of it, and there's 1 or 2 in there that seem like fucking fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing in full. And just in general, I'm really excited because from what I understand, it definitely appears to be a RWBY song, and I'm always here for that. Yeah. This volume's gonna do a lot of hurting to my precious RWBY loving heart. You air me, you fucking stupid ass my arm thing. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do this. We're gonna break it out. As always, a huge thank you to the wonderful people who have been supplying everyone out there with lyric videos. I know Weiss fucking put some shit together. I know there's probably been a couple other people that I know. We're gonna be checking out Flint's video. The lad has come back to us and has given us some more stuff. I decided to go this way this time, so huge thank you to the boy and everyone else. Rock on. We're gonna do it. Thank you to everyone. We're gonna fucking check this out. I'm excited. Will I have anything to say? Probably not. My brain will be mush, but we're gonna go for it anyway. In 3, 2, 1, go. A little delayed on the fingers there, don't you think? I like the art so far. I really love this song. It's really fucking good. Again, I really like getting to peer into oh god damn. Very clearly a song that really leans into RWBY's headspace, which is something I really appreciate because I think RWBY has the most interesting headspace in the entire show. Again, Red Like Roses Part 2 was my favorite song for the absolute longest time, and is easily still my second for that reason. And the parent emotions, you know how that shit gets me. That line. That's one I knew about. And if there ain't any fucking line that perfectly describes RWBY than that fucking line. God damn. I think that's Martine too, just going apeshit, which is awesome. Again, very much keeping up that fucking torch. Y'all are killing it, man. Oh, that's fucking spooky. I like it, but it's spooky as fuck. Ah, I really love that. Fuck. It's great. It's really fucking good. I really like it. It's very good. It's a banger. That's what they say. It's a jam. It's fucking rad, man. Okay. Yeah, so very, very much very much a hey, if the rest of the fucking intro and the first episode wasn't enough of a clue, she's not doing so hot right now. girls really struggling. I think it's really interesting. Actually, really quickly, I think I might do this just to be safe. Just because I do not want to risk shit getting lost and my computer crashing or something like that. So pause for just a quick sec. I'm gonna boot up a second version of this. Yeah, man. This way, if I do it, that way I lose chunks at a time and not the whole fucking thing. I'm actually gonna keep this open just in case I want to jump to specific lines and whatnot. But I probably won't. I'm incompetent. But anyway, yeah, I really fucking like it. Number one, it's just an absolute jam, and there's a lot of really cool, interesting choices in there. Again, like the introduction of the voices on their own. It's always fun when fun, obviously kind of concerning here, but it's usually very fun in an artistic sense when they incorporate the usage of actual like dialogue and just more conversation into a song. It's not super common in RWBY outside of like dialogue within the lyrics itself rather than just actual you fucking know what I mean. You were here. But yeah, no, I think it really goes to show a lot of that confliction. Is confliction a fucking word? In RWBY's head, and I think it's really interesting, and I think it adds a lot. Again, RWBY is one of those characters. I think she is not my favorite character in the show. However, she is easily the most interesting character in the show, and I say that fully being aware that Weiss and Neo and fucking Penny and all those characters, Ironwood, I would argue, is up there as well, like, are insanely interesting characters. I feel like you can make kind of an argument for Yang as well. She's just a bit more complicated in how she's interesting. But yeah, no, RWBY is so interesting, and I want to point out, because someone mentioned in the comments, and it's something I've talked about before, whether or not I've talked too much in videos, but outside of it for damn sure. RWBY is one of those characters that she starts off so much of the show and spends the vast majority of the show appearing, at the very least, as a very specific kind of character, and it's gotten her a lot of a bit of a bad rap from certain people sometimes. Obviously, there's plenty of people who just can't be trusted because their opinions are fucking non-existent and they'll cave to anything. It's all just about being an asshole. But there is also plenty of people who just simply don't really vibe with RWBY purely based on being this kind of character. And to an extent I can get it, because while I think I vibe with RWBY more than other examples, I think probably another kind of similar example that I would probably give, though in a different way, I suppose. It's not quite the same thing, but I've made the comparison before, like her and Madoka, for example, from Madoka Magica. And there's, again, plenty of other examples. But it's that kind of character. I think the best way I heard it described is less so a character that is changed by the world, but rather a character that changes the world around them. And I think that's a really good way of describing RWBY. And it's important to acknowledge that I'm specifically talking about RWBY through the majority of her time in the show, at least to date. She's just one of those people who everyone is affected by more than she is outwardly, I should say, very specifically outwardly, affected by everyone else. RWBY is not a kind of character, she's not a person who very consistently changes who she is or is constantly adapting to how people are reacting to her, or like to what is coming her way. She's just not that kind of person, in the utmost of quotations. She is someone who very clearly, like, it's constantly referenced throughout, especially earlier on in the show, is that, like, RWBY fucking knows who she is. She didn't need Oobleck to ask her why she wants to be a hunter. She fucking knows why she wants to be a hunter. The entire reason he's asking people is so that they ask themselves that question. He asks that to Weiss and Yang and Blake because Yang, Weiss, and Blake have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They have an incredibly surface level understanding of what they want to do, or at least of what they think other people want them to do, if that makes sense. I know Weiss in particular kind of has that. Yang can't fully understand at that point why she's doing what she's doing beyond just fucking winging it. And Blake knows she wants to do the right thing. She has no fucking idea how to do that. RWBY, on the other hand, wants to do the right thing. She knows exactly what the fuck she's gonna do. like, again, constantly talking about, like, she's always wanted to be the hero from the books. She's always wanted to be a huntress. She knows who her mom was, at least in the grand sense. She knows who she was. She knows what she wants to emulate. She knows the direction she wants to go, no matter how hard that's going to be. She's going to face that. She's always going to be the hero jumping in to save the day, regardless of what it takes and what matters and what happens, whatever the fuck. She is a perpetual smile when the world keeps telling her that she cannot be that. And I think it's one of those things that, again, a lot of people, I think, write RWBY off, when they see that, because they think I'm actually going to drop this. Because they think of RWBY as a overly simple character. They think of her as a character that does not develop. And the reason I keep having to throw up quotations and why I have to keep saying outwardly is because that is not who RWBY is. Not entirely, anyway. That is who RWBY actively chooses to display herself as, because people need that. RWBY is a paragon. RWBY's entire identity is being that hero in the books. She is the one who jumps out. She's the one who everyone look up to. She's the reason Blake goes like, hey, I thought it was weird at first that this kid was kind of being my leader, and now there's literally no one else I would like rather trust and fall in line with, that I would back up. Like, obviously, even in the previous volume, you have stuff with, like, Yang and this constant, this bit of a back and forth of, like, should I keep trusting? I've always trusted her and believed in her. I've always followed her lead. That's my baby sister. She knows what the fuck she's doing, but she has that moment of doubt. And even in the end, she fucking brings that shit back in the end. She still comes back to the conclusion that, no, RWBY is, like, even if RWBY's plan didn't fucking work, it was the right plan. It's just RWBY always has that person. Like, Weiss is always willing to count on her as her partner. She is just in that shit always. Like, there's... Like, again, obviously, we have a lot of those moments early on where, like, Weiss is constantly questioning her. But then she hits the point where she realizes who RWBY is, and she goes, like, no, I trust this fucking girl with my life. She says something, I'm gonna fucking do it. I have her fucking back. That is my partner. That is my teammate. We are in this together. I'm going to be the best teammate I possibly can, because RWBY is my leader, and there's no one I would trust more with this fucking position. And, like, again, that is the person that RWBY displays herself as very intentionally. And again, I do actually want to bring this back up one more time, because, again, it's that line that I talked about knowing about in Where Is It? It's so fucking good. There it is. What I'd give in exchange... Let's bring this back up. What I would give in exchange to be happy without trying. Fuck, that's such a good fucking line for RWBY. And it's because I genuinely think there has never been a better fucking line in the entire run of the show or the soundtrack or anything like that that perfectly describes RWBY. Because again, all of that I said, all have quotations, all has outwardly. And that is because RWBY is fucked up. That girl's head is a goddamn mess. It has always been a mess. And it's why it's always been really frustrating for me, personally, when I hear people describe RWBY as so simplistic. Because again, I'm someone who watches the show 500 times over. I'm the one who has all the fucking supplemental material. Please ignore the fact that I don't have Roman Holiday or Shine on that fucking shelf right now. I own Roman Holiday. I was going to show it on this, but it's actually on a different thing. I have an audiobook. Point is, I need to get the fucking physical. It's a very good book. Anyway, and I just don't have Shine because money's a bitch. Anyway, point is, I am someone who sorry. I'm someone who is very, very into this and pays very close attention and cares stuff about this. And it's always been there. Like, this shit isn't new. It's new if you're not looking. Like, if you're not paying attention at all, sure, yeah, RWBY sounds very simplistic. She is again that character that purely changes the world and is not changed by the world. But if you think about it for like 5 goddamn seconds, you learn real fucking quickly that no, she's not okay. And I say that, well, the kids are not alright. RWBY is I don't want to say a fundamentally broken person, because that sounds like she's wrong. She's not. I mean, she is someone who has been profoundly hurt on a way that a lot of people can't even really register. She lost her mom so fucking young. And I love, like, even Yang doesn't really understand how much Summer fucked up RWBY. Like, Yang, when she has her conversation with Blake in Volume 2, she explicitly talks about, like, I think RWBY was too young to really understand what was going on. She was wrong. Yang, I love you, but you're so fucking wrong. RWBY understood hard. Like, she doesn't understand why it happened. Like, again, Red Like Roses Part 2 is my second favorite song in the series, and was my favorite for so very long. And I have listened to it and cried to it almost more times than I've breathed air. RWBY is profoundly fucking aware of who Summer was and what that meant and what she was to her and what that loss has done to her. RWBY isn't constantly displaying this outward joy and fun and all of that purely because that perfectly describes who RWBY is. And it does. It does. It's a very difficult thing to explain, but because that is her. But that's her because that's what she thinks she has to be. And it's not as though she's incapable of having fun, or that she's never had a good time, or that she isn't a goofus. Of course she is. But there is always this black hole eating at the back of her head and her heart constantly throughout her entire life. Her mom is such a fundamental fucking nightmare for her as a concept. The very thought of her is devastating. It is the most, like, it is her light and her way, and it is the fucking pit of despair beneath her. And I think nothing perfectly shows that better than the 2 times we do get to see Summer in earnest. It's seeing her in Volume 6, the light and the way, her path forward, everything she wants to be, what she believes is right, all of that. And then immediately following that up in Volume 7 with, your mom said, your mother said those words to me. She was wrong too. And RWBY's fucking world collapses. She loses it. Her fucking brain literally starts short-circuiting because, like, again, her eyes start freaking the fuck out. Like, her mother means the world to her. It's also the same reason her friends mean so fucking much to her, because she knows what it is like to lose the people she loves so very dearly. She's known from the beginning. This wasn't a thing where, like, in Volume 9 or Volume 3, she finally learned that the world is a big, crazy, weird place because Penny and Pyrrha died. Like, no, obviously that was the reminder, that was the extension, that was the, you have to start taking this shit seriously. That, like, this persona that you are constantly trying to display, this again, I don't think facade is the right word, because it's not as though she's incapable of being happy. It's not that she isn't a dork. She is. But it is amplifying that at every opportunity and smashing down the RWBY that's in her heart, which is the one that is incredibly fucked up and hurt. And again, I just like to point out, I can kind of relate to that. I feel that. I'm a very animated, goofy fucking dipshit. I'm that kind of person, but as we've clearly discussed this past fucking year, shit sucks sometimes, and I don't always cope with it very well. I cope with it far better than I used to, but it is really fucking hard sometimes to constantly try and wear a smile. even if that's everything you want to be, that's everything you know is needed. People need to smile more. People need to be fucking happy. Just talking about this show, there's so many fucking lifeless, shithead, asshole, douchebag fuckheads who watch this fucking show and just cannot goddamn comprehend the very idea of being happy. They can't just fathom the concept of fun. People need more good, just fun. And so I try to be that all the time. And people need that more. And I'm sorry. I have opinions on some people in this community. But like, you have so many people like that. And the path forward isn't to become a cynical asshole and just be like, I accept it, fine, get over, I can't change it. Fuck that noise. Get your head out of your ass and try. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard as fuck. But you need to try to make the world a better place. One of the first lines RWBY ever has in the show, again, talking to Blake, is like, you know, I always wanted to be like the heroes in the books. And Blake's like, well, life isn't a fairy tale, and blah, blah, blah. Not everything has a perfect happy ending. And then RWBY's response is obviously, that's why we're here, to make it better. That, again, perfectly sums up RWBY. It is her job to try and make the world a better place. The problem comes in when RWBY herself needs help. Again, she is a character who has always spent her time trying to change the world around her and never really allowing the world to help change her, at least not in a particularly positive way. And I think that's so much of what this volume is. And again, someone in the comments of the previous episode, and again, I talked about this stuff before, but I think they summed it up in a really interesting way. It's like, RWBY, she never really got to grow. Everyone else on Team RWBY did. Weiss has gotten to grow. She went from being a racist, snobby, asshole, douchebag fuck to literal best girl in like a year. Like a year and change. And she fundamentally changed her life into becoming what is arguably kind of the heart and soul of RWBY. Or of Team RWBY at the very least. Blake spent so much of her life running away and struggling and fighting to be, you know, for freedom and justice and all of this shit. And eventually, as time continued to move on, she was able to overcome those things and, you know, help change the White Fang and fucking get rid of that fucking psycho douchebag Adam, and, you know, finally find kind of a family again, both in her own actual family and her team, her sisters, her lady friend, you know, shit like that. Yang, again, kind of finding her purpose and where she matters and overcoming her fucking mom and all of this shit, just so much shit. They've all had that chance to grow. Even, like, Juniper has had that to at least an extent. Jean trying to, you know, learning to overcome the loss of Pyrrha and find his purpose and place in the world and the good he can do. And he's an insanely different fucking person than I've rewatched Volume 1 so many times. It is insane how fucking different he is as a character. And not because, oh, they just changed him. No, he fucking grew as a human being. Something some people are fundamentally capable of understanding as a concept. But, like, yeah, having all of that. Fucking Jean and Nora, Nora very clearly kind of going through that right now in particular. Ren getting a little bit of it around the same time, but also back when in Volume 4 and evaluating his parents and stuff like that. And just everyone else has had a chance. Even Penny, in her short time, managed to get basically everything she was trying to get. She ended up giving it up in the end because fucking she knew this mattered more. Again, it's why I find it incredibly crazy that people think that Penny's death doesn't matter. Like, that's insane. Did you watch the show? There's 1,000 reasons why it mattered. I know Arnold just made a fucking video on it, and I haven't gotten to watch it yet, but knowing the man, I'm sure it's pretty fucking great. But just like, yeah, it's crazy to me how much everyone else has grown, and RWBY hasn't had that opportunity. And again, not because she is a bad character. She's explicitly intended to work this way. They wrote it that way on purpose because now she doesn't have a choice. She doesn't get the opportunity to go, I'm just going to pretend. She can't. She has to face this stuff now. That's why this volume isn't filler. That's why this volume is important. Obviously, there's everything with Team RWBY in general, but RWBY herself, there's a reason every single shot of fucking RWBY in the goddamn trailer that isn't her in her Volume 1 outfit being a fucking goon, even though that obviously directly correlates into what I'm talking about, is of her losing her shit and just devolving and melting and dying and losing her fucking mind. It's because she has hit a brick wall. The fall of Atlas, losing Penny, all of that shit, she does not have the luxury of anymore to pretend. She can't. She has to face the pain that is fucking her up inside right now. And even after we get through all this, I'm sure we're going to have to hit another bit of a brick wall because her fucking mom is still out there. And based on where we left off in the previous volume, I'm expecting a brick wall that's gooey and says, take the girl. But, like, it's a horrible thought. But, like, it's just, that's why RWBY has been written like this the entire time. It's because this moment is where she hits that wall and she has to change. And that's why it's so important that she was the other way the entire time. Again, and it's always been, none of this is new. Whether it's the fucking manga and RWBY's having a mental breakdown constantly thinking about her mom and how fucked up she is, and she's constantly displayed as being this fucking broken person who immediately lights up and turns into RWBY we know from Volume 1 when she's around people because she feels she has to be that. She knows that that is what the world needs. But she doesn't understand that she needs that. She also needs that. And again, I understand that. It's an incredibly relatable thing to want to do the right thing, to help the world, to help everyone around you, and not being able to understand that, hey, you fucking need help too sometimes, and it's okay. It's okay to get help. It's why Volume 9 is so fucking interesting and cool and sets up so much fucking awesome, perfect, wonderful shit. And I say that in the most painful way possible, is because RWBY is already, for me, one of the most interesting characters in the show, even if she's not one of my favorite. Again, I probably put her at round fourth, currently. She easily has enough to jump up there with just as interesting as fucking Trivia, just as interesting as Penny, and just as interesting as Weiss. And I think it so much so because we now have to tackle this, and we wouldn't have to tackle this if she was a different character, but she's not. The entire point of her fucking character is this. She is the smaller, more honest soul. She is that paragon, but she has to understand that it is okay to hurt alongside that and to share in that hurt. She doesn't have to go through this alone. Even just talking about, again, back to Volume 1, people shitting on fucking the genre. You're wrong. It's important. Her conversation with Jean, which is a very valid and good conversation with, like, hey, you can't be a failure anymore. You're a leader. Everyone's counting on you. Yes. But you're also a part of the team. You're not just a leader. The badge and the burden, the concept itself, you bear a daunting responsibility, RWBY. It's up to you to decide how you're going to uphold it. Like, yes, it is your job to be that paragon. It is your job to be the hero. It is your job to help the world. But you're not alone. You aren't alone in that. And so much of RWBY is not facing her actual problems. It's facing the world's problems and putting hers on hold. That is why RWBY is so fucking compelling and interesting and awesome, and she's such a great fucking character. And it's why this fucking volume is gonna hurt so goddamn bad and yet be so amazing, and it's why the song is so fucking good. God damn it, Casey and Martine, you talented motherfuckers. RWBY, Jesus Christ, I love this fucking show. It's so fucking good, and it wouldn't be this good if they didn't approach it the way they did. Again, it's crazy the amount of times people have this fucking mindset, despite the fact they've said since like the day after Monty passed away that they planned this shit out, that they worked through this with him, that they have an idea of where it's going. The after show thing for the first episode came out and people were like, I can't believe they were talking about the fall of Atlas in Volume 2. Why the fuck would you think they wouldn't? Do you think they named it Atlas on accident? Was it a fucking mistake? Did they stumble dick first into it? No, they did it on purpose. They're good writers. Almost every line of fucking dialogue in the entire goddamn show is fucking foreshadowing for more bullshit to happen later. They did it on purpose. It's fucking good, and that's why RWBY is such a goddamn interesting character, because she's such a character that you think there's nothing there, and you think that because she is explicitly trying to make you think that. Not you specifically, but the people of Remnant. Again, I don't want to necessarily use the word facade, because she isn't just a sad girl. She's not just an emo bitch. She's not. But she has a lot of baggage she has to work through. And she has spent her entire life actively avoiding that. And it's why this volume is so goddamn cool. Because now, she's gotta fucking deal with it. Whether or not she completely deals with it is another thing. Again, summer is still a thing. A very bad thing. So we ain't done. Show ain't over until it's over, you know? Greenlight Volume 10 right now, you motherfuckers. Anyway. It's not over till it's over. And RWBY has so much to go. So again, if you see any dumb motherfucker on the internet, I'm sorry, I gotta get shitty. You see some dumb motherfucker on the internet try and tell you Volume 9 is filler, or that RWBY's a bad character, you send them to me, and I will beat them over the head with this fucking video. Because they're stupid and they should feel bad. And it's fine, because there are plenty of people who genuinely are well-meaning that just don't see it. And again, that's totally fine, because RWBY is explicitly hiding it. That's the point. That's why she's interesting. You have to understand that she is hiding it. You have to understand why she's hiding it. You have to understand why she needs to stop hiding it. It's called storytelling. It's called characterization. It's fucking great. I remember how we were supposed to be talking about a song. Anyway, I'm gonna quickly turn this off and restart up another one before we jump into the second listen through, just so that I don't lose anything. Again, I don't want anything to crash. I'll be right back. Hell yeah, boy! It's so fucking good. Cease your transgressions. I haven't started yet. We're going to open this back up, and we're going to go ahead and do a quick vibe through, just to listen to it again, because it's so goddamn good. You realize how I didn't analyze any of these fucking lyrics and just started talking about how cool of a character RWBY is. And the reason why is because Casey said everything we need to say. Martine said everything we need to say here. They've done a great fucking job. This is why RWBY's music is so fucking good. This is why RWBY's storytelling is so good. Anyone who tries to... Once again, I gotta talk some shit. Anyone who tries to come at you with some supplementary material, or if it's not in the main show purely on its own, it's bad. Shut up. Your view of art is so pea-brained, and you should feel bad about it. Do not let art be... Do not make art such a boring, useless piece of shit concept. I hate that. It's like when people say there's objectivity in art. There literally isn't. There cannot be. It is a fundamentally subjective concept. It is. See that character right there behind me? You can't see her very well. See that character? That's Michiru from fucking The Fruit of Grisaya, and also the rest of that series. Point is, what is that? What do you feel when you look at that character right there? Some of you probably feel like, she's adorable looking. Some of you are like, I don't fucking know what that is. Some of you are like, she's hideous. I will kick your ass. And some people probably have plenty of different conceptions about who she is and what she is, why she's doing it. They're all wrong, I promise you. You have no idea what the fuck she's about. She's fucking crazy. It's not the way I wanted to say that, but she's complicated. She's got a lot going on in the fucking head of hers. Kind of like RWBY. Holy fuck, actually a lot like everyone who's played Grisaya just went, holy fuck, she's a lot like RWBY. Anyway, let's move on. I've never considered that connection until just now. Just gonna say, she has a slightly similar world, view of the world and how she's supposed to act in it. Anyway, okay. Point is, you probably get countless different feelings looking at her. All completely random and different. Maybe you think the art looks good. Maybe you think it looks bad. Maybe you think it's not for you. Maybe you're not an anime. It's weird that you're watching this, but who gives a fuck? Like, whatever the case may be, they're all completely different. Even the people who watch this and or play it because it's a game, have completely different opinions. There's someone in my Discord who, like, Michiru is like his least favorite character in that fucking game. And he's wrong for it. But he's allowed to be wrong. Michiru is my favorite from that game. She is my favorite and or second favorite character of all time. Weiss, goddammit, you make things difficult. Stop squeaking. But that's okay. That makes sense because it's art. It's completely subjective. Another example, Katawa Shoujo, right there. There's like fucking how many different characters? We got all of them, all the different girls in Katawa Shoujo. Everyone has a different fucking favorite character in Katawa Shoujo. You want to know why? Because it's a fundamentally subjective concept. It's emotion. That's why art works the way it is. That's why it's interesting, compelling, and great. It's such a fluid concept. It's so goddamn wonderful. It's why I think people who complain about supplementary material, who complain about the books, who complain about the music, who complain about any of that, you are slacking. The rest of us aren't. You are. You put that completely arbitrary barrier up entirely of your own volition. You've ruined your fun. I'm having the time of my fucking life here. Again, some people just don't know how to have fucking fun, you know? Speaking of having fun, let's listen to the Sad Boy song, Sad Girl song. I really hope she gets some help this point. She needs it. Anyway, we're going to do one more listen through, and then we're going to go ahead and call the video here. To everyone who has dropped by and watched so far, thank you for sitting through that. This was a lot of fun. I've wanted to scream about all of this RWBY shit for a hot goddamn minute. I had a whole fucking tirade about fucking RWBY and how great of a character she is on Twitter a while back, and I never got to put it in a video because I never had the opportunity. Thank you, Casey and Martine, for giving me that opportunity, and I'm sorry I spent that time talking about your song that you probably would have wanted me to talk about your song more. We're going to go ahead and watch this. It is, once again, Inside by Casey Williams and Martin Gonzalez. Is that fun? It's like when you say jalapeno, or it was a bad example because I just said jalapeno instead of jalapeno. It's like when you say something like that, and you have to add the flair to it, even if you probably look like an idiot doing it. Anyway, my apologies. We're gonna go ahead and do this. It's gonna be great. Once again, in 3, 2, 1, go. Also, just to talk about the music itself, outside of even just the lyrics, this intro is so great. Like, it's such a fucking jam. This is so unique and cool. I love when RWBY music does just completely random, unique, cool, interesting ideas. It's one of the things that's so great about RWBY's soundtrack in general too, is the variety in it. Though you have all the hard rock, you have the metal, you have the ballads, you have Flint and Neon, you have fun DDR dance music, you have it just goes, and there's fun jazz, there's the entire Ice Queendom soundtrack, there's so much variety in it all, and it makes the world feel like a world, and I love that. Also, again, I just want to point out again, because I haven't blown Casey enough. Apologies. I don't know how much the split is on, like, the lyrics for these, obviously. How much is between her and Martine and whatnot. But it was definitely noticeable, too, with, oh my god, the song that she did in Volume 7. God damn it, what was it? It's the sad one that's really good. Bruce put the fucking picture of Summer in the video and made me cry. You bastard. Anyway, doing so good at keeping the storytelling within the lyrics. Again, I love it so much. Again, RWBY is a musical that doesn't work like a musical, and it's so good. And again, it's why RWBY is so interesting. People, like, write it off as, like, that somehow makes it bad. That's what makes it so good. It's crazy to me. It's that, again, that idea of you did something that was slightly different, and therefore it's bad, and not... That's, like, the entire idea of art, is to break the mold, right? And again, this is really interesting. I want to know who's talking, because it does sound like, I know a lot have said that this part sounds like Blake or something. I don't think it's Aaron. I'd wager. I'm pretty sure that's Casey still. Don't quote me on that. Do correct me if we know the answer. Obviously, maybe we should wait, because if it is a direct line or something like that, then I guess it would be spoilers, but I'm pretty sure it's just Casey. Again, playing with the idea less than just cutting lines. This isn't Weiss screaming, "Hey!" It's so good. Also it feels so short. Why does this feel so short? It's a completely normal length song. It feels like it's a quarter of the length. How'd you pull that off? It feels shorter than the fucking intro we listened to. Some sort of crazy witch magic you two have accomplished. It's so good, though. It's so good. I fucking love this. Have I adequately expressed to y'all motherfuckers or not how goddamn happy I am that RWBY is back? I do not think that I have. Did I mention it's my favorite? Dude, I love it. Speaking of favorites, too, completely unrelated. Fucking Pokemon Day is in, like, fucking 5 days. I'm gonna explode. God, it feels so good to be back. Greenlight Volume 10 right now, you motherfuckers. I will personally come and slap the shit out of everybody at Rooster Teeth. You don't fucking greenlight this shit and hire everybody back and do the fucking goddamn... Just... Okay. Anyway. I'm really glad I took the time to make this video, because, who knows, maybe I wouldn't have gotten around to saying all those things. All that shit that wouldn't be bottled up in my head quite the same way. Certainly not from this perspective, obviously. It would be a very different perspective if we did at the end of the volume after all the thing happens, especially since the entire point of this video was me talking about shit that is yet to happen in the volume, or that has only started happening in the volume, and why RWBY is such a goddamn fantastic character. and why the people who make this music are so goddamn good. And the people who write this show so goddamn. I love you all. Can we be best friends? Anyway, we're to everybody involved, thank you so much for your incredible work as always. I cannot wait to see the rest of the soundtrack. Again, I do not know if it's going to come along if it's going to come along in the show, alongside the show proper, I should say, or if the rest of it's going to be held back, but we will have to wait and see. Either way, because I've done this with the intro, I probably will do it with the end credits. I probably won't do it in my reaction to the finale, probably also because I'll be too broken and destroyed. I will skip it, but I will then do it afterwards. I think that's what I'll do. So we'll have to wait and see there. But again, everyone, you've done so well. To everyone who decided to stick around and watch, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you so much again. I cannot express enough the love and support that y'all have given the start of Volume 9 already. Again, support and give all the love and you can to fucking RWBY. Get them the love. Get Casey and Martine the love. Get this shit. Give it. I'm gonna beat the shit out of some people if we don't finish this fucking series. just know, I am going to take it very personally, and I must say very mean words to your parents. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and end it there. To everyone again, thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you for again, you guys bumped us up past fucking 1,700. Yes, that is how numbers work. And words. Yeah, you bumped us up to there, which is awesome because we've been sitting there since the past year. It's been pretty fucking rough. But anyway, there's all that. Because I'm so bad at saying things and I always forget. I have a Discord. You're always welcome to jump in there to talk about. I usually try and be good with spoilers. However, RWBY is a personal curse of mine, so that might be a difficult thing you have to worry about. But we have different chats for that. Also, because RWBY is coming out in a different way this year, obviously, with the way things have shaken out. Obviously, my reaction's already out, even though it's not been a week. And thankfully with no issues. Thank you, Crunchyroll, for not being a dick about it. Anyway, so yeah, there's that. Yeah, so things are a bit different. So spoilers aren't really gonna work on the show because I'm gonna, generally speaking, try and get the episodes up as early-ish as possible. In a perfect world, get them up Sunday each time. All you people out here with your early access, like smart people. Anyway, that's there. Again, I know I just talked about how early access doesn't benefit you, but we have Patreon if you want to do that. Early access for everything else, I guess. Not for the thing that we're talking about. Yeah. I'm a terrible businessman. Anyway, point is, there's that. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Be safe, be well, be glorious. Love RWBY, the show, and love RWBY, the girl. That girl, yeah, she's great. I don't know what that was. Anyway, yeah. Thanks, guys. I'll see you all next time. Tools, and lemons, everybody. I shall leave you now to exist in the ever after. Is you in the ever after, or am I going to go and exist in the ever after? Haven't decided yet. I do appear to have a lot of sweets over there, and I do love me I might have lost a lot of weight, but that doesn't mean I can't be a fat fuck on the inside. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I'm gonna go. Please leave.